We have Jim Desmond on with us. I look at what's happening at our border, and they keep saying that they've gotten it under control. Now they're trying to convince people that it's lower numbers coming across than when Trump was in office. This is absolutely not true. So we have the supervisor for San Diego. He's on with us. He is the county supervisor, and he has information on Border Patrol, on something that is, now apparently happening again on our border. Welcome, Jim.
Hey, Glenn, thanks for having me this morning.
You bet. So tell me what the Border Patrol informed you of.
Well, the numbers are down, but from record highs.
Yes.
And we still have more capacity, more people coming across the border than we can actually handle here in San Diego County or on the San Diego sector. And what happened, from September of last year till June of this year, the Border Patrol dropped off over 155,000 people just into the streets of San Diego County. Mostly
155,000?
Yes, absolutely. They dropped off over that 9-month period of time, and we had to absorb them, or most of them left and went to other parts of the country. So they were just dropping off the excess here in our transit stations here in San Diego County. That stopped in June. But what they've been doing ever since, we're still taking more people in that we can manage here. There's about 3 buses a day that they're taking migrants. Border Patrol is taking migrants to Yuma, Arizona, which is right on the California-Arizona line. So about 3 buses per day, and they have about 3 to 4 flights per week leaving San Diego going to Texas, primarily McAllen, Texas. So they're just smoke and mirrors. What they're doing is they're just taking these numbers. They're no longer putting them on our streets, which was very in the open, and in press and everything else had access to that. And they're hiding them by busing them to Arizona or flying them to Texas.
Well, I want to thank them for that. If Trump doesn't win, what do you think is coming our way, Jim?
Well, I think it's going to go back to what it was before, where we were getting several hundred dropped off each day here in San Diego County. And unfortunately, we became the number one spot for border crossing. We're the number one spot for fentanyl. We're also in one of the top spots for human trafficking. All of these things we don't want. But it stopped in June, right before the election, as far as the street drop-offs. That was the most visible thing that we could see. So I think, unfortunately, we're going to go back to the mayhem that we had, in the previous months, where they were just dropping off more and more people here in San Diego County. So that's what I fear.
So you are a county supervisor. What can you do, if anything?
Not much, other than reporting it and what's happening. And one of the other things what's happening here in San Diego County is we're getting several boats a week. Just where people just run up onto our shores with boats and smugglers, and people just getting off the boats and walking into our neighborhoods, and they just abandon the boats on the beach. Those people aren't even checked or go through Border Patrol. They're not fingerprinted. We have absolutely no idea, and that's been happening for months. And if you remember 9/11, it was only a couple dozen people. Well, 2 boats is a couple dozen people coming onto our shores, and that's happening, several times a week, where we have these people just completely unaccounted for.
It is crazy. Let me play something here that came from Dr. Phil. He is talking to a special agent with ICE. It's cut 10.
So you're telling me that DHS has acknowledged that Venezuela, for example, is emptying their prisons and their rehabilitation centers with the understanding you get out if you leave here and go to the United States?
Yes.
And DHS has, in writing, said, we know that's happening. We know they're coming here. We're processing them in and have no idea where they are.
Correct.
How many people are we talking about?
Millions. And just Venezuela alone.
How does a country survive that? How does a country survive that? How does San Diego survive that?
We don't. We're getting overrun. And be honest with you, the state of California is a sanctuary state, which means that our local law enforcement cannot enforce immigration laws. So even these people that are getting off the boats and walking into our neighborhoods, local law enforcement can't do a thing about it. If they pull somebody over, they can't ask them about their immigration status. And so, we're a sanctuary state. And because of that, there's very little, locally anybody can do about this stuff. So that's one of the issues. Another thing that the federal government just did to us recently is they gave us $19 million for a migrant processing center here in San Diego County. Right after the June drop-offs, they gave us $19 million, and that's FEMA dollars that could have been going to hurricane relief. Right now, we're not using that money at all, but it's 19 million FEMA dollars sitting in our pockets waiting for a migrant center, which probably, if Kamala wins, we're going to have to put up right away.
Jeez. God bless you, Jim. Thank you for breaking this news. I appreciate your courage. Thank you.
Glenn, thanks for putting it out there. I love it.
You bet. That's a supervisor, county supervisor from San Diego, Jim Desmond, who posted, I think it was, last night or the night before, about what's happening now. They are flying them out. Flying them out. Congratulations, Arizona. You get some. Texas, you get some.
It's like Oprah.
Yeah.
Everyone's got some under your chair. Congratulations.
And actually, kind of like literally that. Oh, man.
Disturbing.